1st, so I thought it would be a good idea to harvest my summer vegetables to show you how they look when they're done, and you can get an idea of what it's like, how we can safely pull them off of the plant. Now, some of my plants are a little bit past their ripeness, like this one for an example. So these are spicy, really spicy peppers, and they were orange for a little bit. They're supposed to turn red, but instead they started to get a little bit of this white sunburnt look. So to harvest them, I'm just going to make sure that I pull really close to the branch, twist, and pull. Now, you can tell that this is a really spicy pepper because of the point on the end. That kind of is like a warning signal for you. And this should be a bright red, but I don't know if it got too much sun or too much water to make it look like this color. Here's another kind of pepper. This is a bell pepper. You probably have eaten these before. I didn't have the best luck with growing these this year. You can see that this is a lot smaller than what a bell pepper would typically look like. They're also supposed to turn red when they get fully ripe. And I haven't had any turn red, but you'll see that this one's actually almost black. So it's very, very purple. Some peppers can turn purple, and you can see in this stem that this one's already turning a little bit purple. That typically means it's going to take a lot of nutrients to keep this one going. Now, I'm going to pull this one off because it's feeling a little bit weak. So again, I kind of twist and pull, and you can see there's my bell pepper. Okay, these are probably my most successful peppers this season, and these are called hot wax peppers. You'll notice something about the way that they grow. So instead of growing down, they grow straight up on the plant. They're a little bit spicier than a typical pepper. And again, I'm just gonna pull, twist and pull. And these are looking really good. Now, these are not peppers. These are green onions or scallions. Sometimes they're called chives. They grow straight up out of the ground, kind of like a grass. Now, to harvest this one, I'm going to just kind of pull from the bottom. The lighter section at the end is better for cooking when you start, and then when you finish cooking, you use the darker end of the chive or the scallion. I'm going to pull a couple off. Now, scallions or green onions, they also smell really strong. So when I pick this, you can smell it's extremely fresh, a little bit spicy, and has a really crisp flavor at the end. Along with my green onions, I also regrew some carrots. I actually picked all the carrots that I grew before, and these are little sprouts of some new ones. Just to show you what they look like and how small they actually are, I'm going to try to pull these little ones out. And we're going to hopefully see a really tiny carrot. So let's see. Look how cute! So these are tiny carrots in there. If we let these sit for another 4 weeks, if it's warm enough, we should be able to get bigger versions of these. And these are multicolored carrots. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of luck with my tomato plants this year. But you can see that I have some yellow ones, and I have a couple orange ones. Oops. So again, I twisted and pulled. It's kind of a weird shape. I believe they got too much water, and that's why they stretched like this. So a couple of my tomatoes worked out, but most of them right now are green, and at the most they've turned orange. Another plant success I've had is banana peppers. So these are banana peppers. This one's actually turned a little bit purple too, kind of like my bell peppers. So you can see the little bit of purple streaks that it got. Again, I'm not sure if that means that it's a certain temperature, it's been a certain temperature outside, too hot, but these are really good, not at all spicy, and you can slice them up and pickle them or put them on salads. This is a summer herb, which means that you'll add it as a garnish or to give your food a little bit more flavor. Can you guess what it is? It's basil. Now, you might use basil in pasta, in marinara sauce. You might use it with mozzarella. It's one of my favorite flavors. But you'll notice that this basil plant is a little bit yellow. And that's because it really sees its peak in July. So I had this was beautiful green in July, and what I'll probably do is pick all of it and maybe freeze it so I can use it in the winter time and still feel like I have some fresh basil. I can also dry it if I'd like and use it, crumble it up and put it over food in that way. Now there's something I want to point out about a lot of these plants. They have these creepy looking little worm-like things at the bottom, and what those mean is that they're forming new roots. And if I were to take them out and then plant them somewhere in like a garden, cover them with more soil, they would create more roots and create the plant a bigger plant. So right now they're a little bit restricted in these smaller containers, and you can see that that's made the basil suffer a little bit. Now sometimes your plants do really well, other times they start to die as the year goes on. It depends on what the conditions are like. Maybe it's rained too much, maybe it's rained too little, they've gotten too much sun or not enough. But this is actually a zucchini plant, and you could see little formations of new zucchini in there. But I don't have any to harvest, so what I'm going to show you is this zucchini blossom. If I were to remove the blossom, this is actually a really delicious food that you can stuff with cheese or other delicious things to make a really good appetizer. People love zucchini blossoms and they fry them, so maybe you've eaten them before. So usually I would have zucchini. I have harvested a couple already, but right now unfortunately our plant's not doing too well. Alright, so these are the examples of our summer harvestables. We have all our types of peppers, basil, our tiny little carrots that would have gotten bigger if we let them sit, our green onions, tomato, and zucchini blossom. We can eat all of these things. We can use them in salads. I like to fry them up and put them in tacos, and I'm just really excited about how most of them came out. If you watched the last video, you'll have seen that I planted this escarole about 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I said it's kind of like a thicker spinach. You can use it in soups, or I guess you could put it in salad, but it's a little bit tough. Our escarole, good news, is doing really, really well. You can see the middle is developing excellently, and the leaves are looking perfect. I actually already used it in a soup. So that's the good news about the things we just planted. Unfortunately, I have some not so great news about our other plant. So unfortunately, this is our broccoli. What do you think is happening to our broccoli so far? Yeah, I think it looks like something's been eating it. So somebody has really been enjoying our broccoli leaves. I hope that it doesn't affect the growth in the middle, because the middle is where our broccoli should form, I'm guessing. So if it's able to still get sunlight, they should be able to grow. Our stems are actually really solid, so that's a good sign. But I hope whatever's eating them decides to take a break. And that's it. Those are our summer harvestables that have come out to be successful in the month of September so far. I also wanted to make one note about the spicy peppers. Just make sure that you wash your hands. And I'm not going to eat this raw, so if I were to eat this, I would make sure it's cooked all the way, or it would be such a tiny amount that it wouldn't be painful. So if you're going to grow some really hot peppers, especially ones with the scorpion stinger at the end, make sure you are washing your hands. See ya!